Hi, I'm Tina McElroy. Welcome to this episode of Two Old Chicks Who Know a Lot of Shit. I'm here as always with my friend, my partner, my college freshman college roommate, and my co-host Wanda Lloyd. Hey Wanda, how you doing?
Hey Tina, I'm doing good. I'm so looking forward to this main segment we're going to do today because we're going to be sharing some personal favorites and habits and learning some things about each other that we really don't know. So we're going to have some fun today.
Absolutely. We'll find out later. I'm all about the fun.
I know, right?
Okay. But folks listening to this will also have to look at the podcast because Wanda looks so pretty. She has on colors that she doesn't usually wear, and they really are her colors. So you'll have to
look on YouTube. Yeah.
The scarf just looks great on you. As a matter of fact, she made me go back and dress myself up a little bit because we have a segment that I'm wearing my
you're gonna, as I understand it, you're gonna undress while we're on the podcast so you can show off your garden clothes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, if somebody sponsors the show for us, I'll do it slowly. I sure will. Wanda, we're awful. Oh my goodness! And think of all the people who don't even know what the stripper music is. You know, that's some old.
That's right. That's right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So what you been doing?
Well, Tina, it's August, so I'm just basking in the glow of our birthday month. Now I say,
wait a minute, wait now. Didn't we just spend a whole month, July, basking in the glow of your birthday?
That was my birthday. This is our birthday. So this is Shelby's 40th birthday. So I claim it because I was there when she was born. She was my daughter.
You got proof. Oh, Wanda, you had the most wonderful little baby book where all her information is, and it's kind of 1960-ish baby book, with a white mother and baby.
She wasn't born in the 60s now.
I mean, I'm sorry. Well, it looks kind of 60, 70-ish. It didn't look modern, but she has everything in it. It's so like Wanda. We were just talking about the recurrence of polio that they've just detected in New York, I think, and in maybe San Francisco. And so the first thing we thought is, oh gosh, our polio shots from our childhood from the 50s, are they still good? And then of course Wanda said, well, wait a minute, what about Shelby? Did they stop giving polio? So we had that discussion, and Wanda was able to go to her baby book, Shelby's baby book, 40-year-old
Tina,
baby
you
book.
will not be surprised. I kept records of everything, every shot, every doctor visit, every measurement, every weight, everything for like at least 7 or 8 years. Records are in this little book.
So it's so good. But I think it's so wonderful that you did, and because you got a call from your 40-year-old new 40-year-old daughter asking you about that, and you were able to go right to your baby book. That's wonderful. But at any rate, we're talking about Shelby so much, but 40 is really something, huh?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like, oh my God, I had a baby 40 years ago. She's been in my life 40 years. So it is significant. It is significant. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's I'll use the word sobering.
Yeah.
And as well as enlightening and happy and all joyful and all that. But it is sobering, to think that number one, that Shelby's been on this earth for 40 years. I can't believe that. But you know that it was 40 years ago that you became a mother, and first time mother,
Yep.
Only child, never had to change the diaper on any younger sister or brother. So tell me what you were feeling. Tell us, share with us.
You mean on her birthday or 40 years?
No. When she was born.
I can tell you exactly what I was feeling. First of all, she was a little sick in the hospital, so we were a little bit concerned, but she's fine. All the little ailments that the doctors thought she had, they either fixed or they didn't exist. But when I went to I left her in the hospital a few days after I got out of the hospital, and I would go back every day and I would nurse and I could hold her and I could rock her. And I went to the hospital about 3 or 4 days after I left the hospital. And they said, oh, the doctor says you can take your baby home today. And it was joyful because, you know, it was what I wanted.
Taking your baby home. Oh,
yeah.
I hear you.
So I got in the car, put her in the car. You know, we had the baby seat was in the car already because we had that long before she was born. And I was,
of course, excuse me.
Of course well, and so we, you know, the nurses helped me lock her in, and, you know, we got in the car and I drove maybe a block or two. And I remember saying a prayer. I said, God, I have no idea what I'm doing with this baby. You've got to show me a way. Because I had no siblings, especially no younger siblings, like you had no younger siblings. So you're right. I don't think I had ever changed a diaper. I had babysat, but it was for a young man, and he was older. He was, you know, 5, 6, 7 years old when I babysat him. But I had babysat a baby, and I'd never.
Excuse me, and your baby.
Oh, right? Absolutely, my baby, but no baby. I mean, I just didn't know, except for what the classes that we went to some classes before, and then there was a class while we were in the hospital. This is how you bathe a baby. This is how you feed a baby. This is how you burp a baby, and that's all I got.
You said you had that down pat, right?
So God answered my prayer, because, you know, she's still alive 40 years later. So I guess I did the
Yay!
But Tina, speaking of being alive.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just glad.
What a segue.
I'm just glad. Okay, you like that transition? That was not planned, but do you like that?
That was a great segue. It really was. Yeah. I have to give you
Is there a song? Isn't there a song like she's a bad motor scooter?
You're a bad motor scooter. That's what people used to say. You're right. Oh yeah. A bad motor scooter.
So Tina was a bad.
Well, why would you say that, Wanda?
What made me say? Because Tina was.
Why would you say that, Wanda?
Tina was on a motor scooter the other day. So I get this text message. I should have had it queued up, but I'm not going to look for it. But I got a text message with a picture of Tina on a motor scooter, a scooter, and I didn't notice that there were 2 pictures there. And so she said something like, I don't know. She said something like, "I was having fun."
Oh yeah, this is how it began.
So I saw a picture of Tina on a scooter, stationary. She wasn't moving, with a little helmet on her head, and I thought, oh, okay, she's having fun.
Did I look happy, Wanda?
You did look happy. You know what you look like?
I was having a time of
I went back today, days later, about a week later, and I looked at that picture, and I saw the smile on your face, and your face looked just like your 18-year-old girl when I met you at Spelman College when we started college together with the helmet and everything.
Wonderful. And I had on the helmet. Well, that's why I had on the scarf, because Wanda looked so pretty. I went and got my scarf.
Don't do the reveal yet. Don't do the reveal yet.
So I
go on social media.
That was too fast.
I go on social media. And there is a second picture, in addition to the picture that I saw, because I just didn't scroll down, of Tina lying on the ground. She fell off the motor scooter. And I'm like, what the heck does a 72-year-old woman doing on a motorcycle, in a motor scooter in the first place? So you can
tell in the first place
what happened, whose motor scooter was it? How did you get on it? And what the heck were you thinking?
Gosh, I don't know, Wanda. To answer your last question first, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking about having fun. You know how when somebody else is up and you're kind of, with them. And so this is my one of Shanae's poker buddies, Sean. He's a young man, and he was Shanae's buddy, and then he checks on me, which is like really sweet. So I know that he got married recently. I know things about him, and I asked about him. I said his wife was sending a candle the last time he came, just because I want her to know that I appreciate him coming by. He's put things together for me and that kind of thing. So he came by. And he said, "You see what I came on?" And I said, "No." I looked out the door, and there was this cute little motor scooter. And she said, "I bought it for my wife." And I said, "Oh man!" And I said, "Jessica, she's going to be so. I know she's happy with this, and what a good husband you are." And then he looked me right in the face and said, "You want to ride it?" No, he said, "You want to drive it?" And I said, "Sure, yeah." I lost my mind. One of the things, Wanda,
right?
is
you should have stopped right there.
Where were you with the big T when a time out when I needed to? But it's so funny because everybody who knows me knows that if my husband, Shanae, my buddy's buddy here, had been alive, I would not have helped. He would have thrown himself on the bike to keep me from getting on it, because he knows I'm a little clumsy. But I also was like, oh, and I've ridden the bike with the stop the bikes with the thing, so I kind of knew it. And he gave me a quick tutorial. Make sure, he said, "This is good, and this is this, this," and I did. So the story is, Wanda, that I didn't move an inch. The first picture of me on the bike with this on.
Okay. Now, what did you have on? What is that?
This is my garden outfit. Okay. Now I put my finger over it.
Yeah.
This is like my garden outfit. This is, and I didn't have on a bra. I added a bra for y'all because I didn't have on a bra when it happened. Oh my goodness. So like you said, I went sprawling, but I didn't move an inch. I was like, and when I started to move, I kind of.
Okay. Hello. The way Tina explained it to me, she said, "I fell over in slow motion."
I did slow. That was Janae keeping me, because when I hit the ground, I didn't slam on the ground. I went like bunk, on the ground. So that's why I was lying there laughing. Sean said, "Give me your phone. Give me your phone. I got to take a picture of this." That's the reason you have a picture.
Well, one of the first questions I asked Tina was, how old is the wife of the gentleman who brought the motor? What decade is she? 30s, 40s, 50s? How old is, and how do you say she's about?
She's probably in her late 20s.
Okay, there's the problem.
Yeah, I didn't want to say. You didn't even go to the 20s. You said, what is she?
I did. I had no idea she was that young. But there is the problem. She's in her 20s. You're in your 70s. So the lesson I gave Tina was, over and over that night, don't get on a motor scooter. You don't need. In fact, what I said was on I think I put it on social media. I said, we should not ever be on any wheels, bicycle, motorized or otherwise, skateboard.
Anything. You said, yeah, nothing with two wheels, not even something with three wheels. Absolutely.
Exactly. Scooters. And I said,
what are those other things? Golf cart. I don't get golf cart. No.
And I said, the next time you might have to be on some wheels, maybe it would be a walker when we get older.
Well, your husband, my brother Junior, who uses a wheelchair. I said, "Oh, wait a minute." I said, "Wait, but then I maybe on two wheels I'll be able." And Junior corrected me. He said, "This thing has six wheels. You wouldn't be able to get." So you're right. I am sticking to a four-wheel car, an automobile. That's it. But Wanda, what I did learn, it was a really important lesson, and you even brought it up to me again yesterday, and that is, I've been missing having fun. Yeah. I mean, it was fun. Like you say, you could see it on my face. It was like the funniest thing I had done in a couple of years. And that doesn't mean I haven't enjoyed things and really relished them and, all the rest of it. Even I can remember the first lunch we were able to have after the pandemic. I still have pictures. Yeah. I mean, I love that. That was great fun. But that excitement thing, wow, I'm going to have to check that out, Wanda. Okay. I'm going to make sure that, you were telling me about some plans you had, and I said, "See, that's fun. That's the fun I'm talking about." And you said, "Yeah, I understand." So I'm going to have some safe fun.
Well,
maybe some dance and lessons.
Some safe fun on firm ground with no wheel.
On 2 feet, yeah.
Yeah. That's the.
Excuse me, on 2 flat feet. No heels.
No. We don't do heels.
Don't do heels. They have the cutest little flats now. It's just unbelievable, huh? Last time I was in Savannah, one time for shopping.
You bought 12 pairs of shoes that time?
Oh God! Now it's up to 12. It actually was 3. 2 of them on sale. But now the Oshobi's new husband was cooking breakfast, and he just said real casually, "Huh? I heard you bought 5 pairs of shoes." I said, "I can't believe it's going up." Everybody knew about it. See, that was fun. Yes. That was fun. Yeah,
it was fun. Yeah, because we had to go to 2 different stores to get all the shoes. The same company, it's just they didn't have it at the first store, so they called the other store, and we had to go to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we sure did, and we stopped to buy cookies.
Oh, we sure did. Okay. Well, anyway, so we can talk about the scooter all day because I can tease you. Obviously. I will say this. Yeah, you can put your scarf back on now. I will say this. I called Tina about 3 times that night because I was concerned that you might, sometimes when you have a fall like that, you don't really hurt until hours later. So I was checking on her. So don't y'all think I was just laughing at her all night.
Oh, absolutely not. She she didn't lecture me really until she found out that I was okay and checked on myself and such. And I do appreciate that. At the end of our show, Wanda, at the end of our episodes, one of us always says something like, take care of each other or take care of yourself. And we really mean it, reach out for folks, when you think something is wrong. I posted on social media because it was funny from one picture to the next, and I was okay. But of course I had to say, I'm okay. But people really enjoyed it and got a laugh out of it too, Wanda, which is what I wanted people to do. That's because I
was laughing on social media. And then the other laugh I got, and then we're going to move on, was Tina said, I'm putting some, what was it, magnesium? And I said, you sound like the old folks, putting liniment on your body because you got to hurt.
Oh, I did. I came straight in the house and reached for my liniment, child. Oh, man, I put it on my back and my legs, all over my body. I took, some aspirin. So, yeah. And, I did some things. I had on a helmet. I checked myself for, bruises, I did all the things that you were supposed to, but I was just laughing the whole time. That's just
for the young people who are listening, you have to Google liniment, and you'll find out.
Oh no, let them Google. No, Google liniment. Yeah. Google it. Let them look it up. You know us, Wanda. Words matter.
I don't even know how to get back on track with this, but let's talk about, we did the live event. So just briefly mention that.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I was laughing. What?
I said you can briefly mention that we did a live event, our first live event ever.
Indeed, it was very exciting, and we like to try new things. That's the other thing. We like to try new things, and so in connection with the Sea Island Writers Retreat, which we are reviving with the help of my co-director Wanda Lloyd here, who is my partner in crime and everything else, it seems, in the last few years, which I'm grateful for. We've been doing some live events with the Sea Island Writers Retreat, and then you can go to SIWR. Thank you, 2022.org. That's what it is. Sea Island Writers Retreat. That's what SIWR stands for. And we're working on that. And on top of it, we are so excited because the applications, have been coming in. And, every time one comes in, one, and I just can't stop ourselves from going, wee! It's an exciting thing that a writer stands up for herself, and finds the wherewithal to put her writing first and her craft first. And so we celebrate that, every time. And it also makes us feel good that the Sea Island Writers Retreat in November on Tybee Island is a thriving and a thoughtful endeavor.
Yeah. So, right? Yeah. So the first one, the next one will be in August. And if you go to the website, you'll see it's called The Magic of Writing. And so we're looking forward to that. So
Yeah, Wanda and I worked on the first one, which was what is a writer's retreat.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for joining me on that one, Wanda. It was very informative, and I think anybody who was hesitating or just didn't know what it was, really now knows what value a writer's retreat is for for a writer who's producing things. And so we're busy times, Wanda, huh?
Yeah, very good.
Good to be busy.
Okay, Tina, and we're in a segment we're calling, let me ask you a question. You know what, I will say this was my idea. When I proposed it to Tina, I said, she's gonna think I'm crazy. We're just gonna ask each other a question about something. So we're gonna have some fun.
And I said, well,
yeah,
that's a great idea.
Y'all
know something about us, but it's always good to know things about people that you wouldn't find out in a bio.
So Tina and I share some questions with each other. We have not discussed our answers. I'll ask Tina one question about her favorite person or place or thing or event or something like that. And then she'll ask me a question. So she knows what I'm going to ask her, but I don't know what her answers are and vice versa. So you ready, Tina?
I am ready. Let's go. Let's get started, huh?
Okay. Why don't you start? Oh, no, I'll start.
You go first.
Okay, I'll start. Okay, Tina, of all the places you have been to in the world, what is your favorite place and why?
Well, people who know me probably know what I'm going to say. My favorite place is St. Simon's Island, where I live. I came here for my honeymoon, which made it special. My husband and I were beach people. We would go to the beach. We would go to Hilton Head every chance we got when we were living in Atlanta back in the 70s when we first met. And we always kind of knew we were going to, live on St. Simon's because we came here for our honeymoon and it just spoke to me. I think I've told you many times how I heard a voice that said, this is where you belong, just when we came across the bridge. And so that really is probably my favorite place, not only my honeymoon, but this is where we work to come. We work to be freelancers, to make money. We didn't have straight jobs. We didn't have, regular jobs. We were freelancers. So this is a place where, I wrote my first novel. So I just have so many firsts here for me and my family. So St. Simon's is really wonderful. The other place that I really have really just been taken with is the California coast. It looks better than in the movies. I couldn't believe there were cliffs and, ocean, hitting against the cliffs and, houses, up in the hills and all of that. But again, that was the West Coast. I think that, North Carolina has beautiful. I love the trail, the Appalachian Trail that goes through. And we lived there and it was beautiful and the people were nice. But again, nothing beats St. Simon's for me. St. Simon's
I almost posed that question. Besides St. Simon's Island, what is your favorite place? Because you're right.
People who know me know that I really am happy that I found home. This is home to me, and it's inviting as a Black person, especially on the Geechee Gullah Coast, as a woman, as a Southerner. As somebody who loves the soil and loves a sense of place and history. So it is for lots of reasons it's special. So tell me, I am really anxious to hear what your answer is because I have no idea. Well, what place for you?
It's not a place I visited. It's a place I lived. I lived, and everybody's gonna be really surprised. We lived in Greenville, South Carolina for almost 5 years, and I thought this is a place I want to be forever. I just like Greenville, South Carolina. I love the people. I love the closeness to the mountains. I love the weather because it gets cold enough to feel like winter, but we're not stranded in snow all the time. Few ice storms along the way in the winter. But for me, it's the beauty of the cute little downtown area. And I work downtown at the newspaper place. Walk out of the newspaper building and walk up Main Street and go to some restaurants and shops and see people I mean, that's what I like about it. Also the quaintness of it. So every time I would go somewhere, I would see people I know. And I'm a people person. I love being around people. So I loved being in a community where I knew people, people who were, either friends through work or they were parents of my daughter's childhood friend, high school friends, I should say. I love the culture of it. We worked across the street from the Peace Center for the Performing Arts. And so I got to go to a lot of plays and concerts, and I didn't even have to worry about a parking place because my car was already parked under the newspaper building. So I could just walk out of the building at 5:30, 6 o'clock and walk across the street, meet my husband over there, and we just enjoy a night, at the theater, and then maybe go to dinner. And so Greenville.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah.
That sounds so lovely. Well, I have the only question I have for you is that is it because it's in the South, or do you think because it's in the South it has that sort of welcoming culture?
Oh, it's definitely because it's in the South, and also because it's in a place that doesn't, at least at the time, I don't know what it's like now, it didn't have a lot of traffic, so you could get somewhere quickly.
Oh, right. It was small town.
It had that small town feel. It's not a real tiny town because the metropolitan area is, like any metropolitan area, there are other little cities around. And it was not too far from Charlotte. It was south of Charlotte and north of Atlanta. So I could get to either. If I wanted to be in a big city, I could get to either. And so, but the South also, because of the friendliness of the people in the, I was back in the South after being away for so long, so I could hear accents, and culture and food. Absolutely.
What did I say? I just saw someone on some social media platform saying that you cannot get a good biscuit if you leave the South. And it says something like, I dare you to say that's not true. And there are certain things in the South, sweet, you can't get a good sweet tea in the North.
Yeah.
They just won't make it. So there are things that are small and welcoming. Well, I know you've traveled a great deal abroad. And it's interesting that your favorite place is right at home.
Okay, so let's move on, because we got some more questions here. Okay. And I'm not really fond of this next question because I know you're going to make fun of me.
Okay, Wanda, what's your favorite food color? The color of your food that you like to eat? Because we had this conversation not too long ago and I thought it was interesting. Do you have a favorite food color?
I don't have a favorite food color. I have a least favorite.
You have a least favorite food
and
color?
I'll say it briefly. There's something about red food that I don't like. So, don't give me anything that's flavored with cherry. I can tolerate strawberry a little bit, but I don't want to ever eat a beet. No beets.
No beets. But even tomatoes fall into that category.
No tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes. No. I don't like.
What about red peppers?
No red food. I just don't like red food. It's just weird. I'm sorry. It's weird.
I know it is. I love weird stuff about Wanda because Wanda doesn't have, I take that back. I didn't know about all the weird stuff about Wanda until recently. Okay.
So think back to the music of the 60s. What is your favorite song? And what do you remember about what you were doing when you heard that song? Whether it was the first time or the 100th time. What brings back the memory?
Oh, well, number one is Aretha.
Just one song.
Always
or one person. It could be one artist.
Well, no, I'm just saying, if you ask me, what I think about when I think about, back in the dorm and my song going on Spelman campus, Morehouse North, where we lived in our freshman year, it would have to be Aretha. And I really loved Ain't No Way. Because Ain't No Way is like the first time I kind of had my heart broken. It came out around that same time. And, I was, his name was Eddie, and he had a girlfriend back home. And I found that out, and I was just heartbroken. I don't know why I didn't think that, but one of his homegirls came to the dorm. And we were sitting on the steps and out on front. And I kind of wondered why she was there. But we were friends. She was in my class, kind of. And she told me, and I just wept. And that song, was sort of the song that was popular at the time. And I thought it was written just for me. Aretha was singing it, and it just, broke my heart and touched my soul at the same time. What about you?
Well, so many. Obviously, the Motown sound is the sound for both of us when we were young, especially in college. I think
playlist of our lives. Playlist.
Yes, absolutely, Motown. Absolutely. So my favorite song has been and is Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. So, hey, listen, ain't is the first word in both of our songs. Ain't no mountain high. Ain't no valley low. Wow. I love that song.
I love that song too. And I love them doing it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love them doing it. Oh yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. And but what does that evoke for you? I mean, why is that?
I don't know that it evokes any kind of memory about what I was doing at the time. I just like singing it. I like the lyrics. I like the music. It's upbeat. I like the fact that they did it together. Although did you know that they did not do it together? That she was intimidated. Tammy Terrell was intimidated by Marvin Gaye because he was a big star. And I don't think we had ever heard of Tammy Terrell until they recorded that one album. That's the only thing. And she was so intimidated. She reminded me of my TED Talk presentation. I was scared to death. She was scared to death to be in the studio with Marvin Gaye. And so they convinced her to sing it on a track, and then they brought him in the studio and they put it together.
I cannot believe it. We always envision them. I always did singing, face to face, and like you say, in the studio. Boy, the things you learn. That's so interesting.
And then they never recorded again because she died in 1970. She had a brain tumor. She died in 1970.
Yeah, I mean, there was always a lot of drama and gossip and all kinds of around them. That song is very evocative. That's a good one. Okay, is the next one yours?
Yes, yours.
Okay. Now
you know why I feel like that.
I know. I'm surprised that it's still here. Wanda has a way of going in the script and changing it. When I fell, I sent her the picture. Okay, I'm in the house brushing myself off, and I said something to her about we're gonna have to put it in the podcast. She said, "Shoot, I already went into the script and added it." I mean, I was still dusty from falling, and Wanda had added it to the script. Hey, everything is grist for the mill, right? Grist for the mill. So I wanted to know. This is one of my questions. We are just going to ask for first names only. Who was your first heartbreak? Real heartbreak. And looking back, what do you think you learned?
Well, I'm not going to give a first name. Okay. But
excuse me, she's still married, so
it was a boy from home before we went to college. And it was a heartbreak. But what I learned from it is, oh my gosh, what did I learn from it? Don't assume that everything that you think is important is going to be important forever. Yeah. I mean, when you have a big breakup and a heartbreak, you think life is going to be over and you'll never get, like you said, pick yourself up and dust yourself off. And that is so not true, because there's something better and someone better along the way. So that's what I learned, I think. Don't assume that the heartbreak is going to last forever. Move on.
Yeah, that's a very good good lesson, because you are right, but that applies to everything. And I think about it, Wanda, any traumatic thing in your life, you think that this is over, right. And it's never over. As they say, it ain't over till it's over.
Right. Yeah.
And you and I, you and I have really learned that it ain't over till it's over. Keep, like you say.
Yeah. So
there's something else out there.
Can I move on to the next question and ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay. So I know this is like picking your favorite child or your favorite cat, but of all your 5 novels, what is your favorite and why?
Oh, okay. Now, Baby with Family is going to be very offended because she thinks that I will automatically pick her. Mm-hmm. But truly, my favorite and most impactful, and speaking of learning a lesson, the book that I really learned the most about is Ugly Ways, my second novel. The story of three women, sisters who come home to bury their self-centered mother who insists on being called mud dear. And she's as far from a mother dear as she can get. She's very selfish. She decided to just not be the girl's mother and just withdraw. Actually, she decided to be free. And that's what the book is about. What does it mean? It means something special, I think, to formerly incarcerated, the descendants of formerly incarcerated people, to talk about freedom. And I think when Black people talk about freedom, when people of color talk about freedom, I think it resonates and means more than it will to the larger population. And that's what the book was about. But the book is my favorite because it's the book where I learned that books are safe places. I had no idea that up until that time how vital book clubs were and books. Because when you talk about books, it's completely different. You have a character to talk about, but you start out talking about the character and you always end up talking about yourself. That's when I learned that books can really heal. I learned that with this book, I bet you 85% of the people who I know who bought it and stood in line, were signing and talked to me, said, this is the first time I'm telling you this about my mother. Because in Black cultures, you don't go out in the street talking about your mother now. You can talk about family stuff, but you don't talk about your mother. And so, lots of women just had their sisters or their, siblings or whoever, to talk about. And Black mothers are just as likely to be bad mothers as anybody else. So I learned a lot in writing the book, but I also learned just from the readers how much they felt like it was safe to talk about Mud Dear. And then, they kind of ended up talking about their mothers. It was, I had no idea how important a book was and how life-changing it could be. Because women would stand in line. The three women's names in the book, the daughters are Emily, Annie Ruth, and Betty Jean. And women would come stand in line, for hours, because I sold more of this book than any other. And they would stand in line and they would lean down and ask the same thing. They would say something like, I'm Betty, who are you? And I would say, oh no.
Based on the persona of one of the
women, Betty, one of the three sisters. And I would, explain, in my little highfalutin way that this was fiction. And of course there was some similarities, la-di-da, la-di-dee, and this was fiction and it wasn't. And they would let me go on. And then one woman leaned down really close to my face and said, I'm Betty. Who are you? They really took this to heart and let me know that I wasn't writing my biography. I wasn't writing my life, but that these were real women. These are women that readers recognize. So that's Ugly Ways is my favorite book. And like I said, sold more copies than any of my books, even my sexy. I was
going to mention that because just about everybody I talk to when I describe you, if they don't know you or they don't know we're friends, and I said, and they always talk about they just talk about Herman and the hand I fan with. So people remember that one too. Yeah. And I thought that's what you were going to say. I'm sitting here with a notebook because I'm writing down your answer because I'm going to look, put a picture on the YouTube version of this podcast. And I just wrote down the hand I fan, and then you said Ugly Ways. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. It is funny, and I really don't have a favorite child, so my books won't haunt me in my sleep tonight. I do have to say that. But the Ugly Ways just hit different. As people, as young folks say now, it really hit different. And at the time that women, were coming out in lots of ways. This was the early 90s, and Black women were in that wave of that second wave of expressing themselves. And so it really resonated with a lot of folks. And again, I found out that, a book club and a book is a safe place, because, you crowd out there and you talk about the characters, there's some distance.
Yeah.
And, once you feel safe, it inevitably, we'll hear from book clubs that will tell me that's exactly the truth.
Okay.
You start out talking about the characters, but you end up talking about yourself and how this book, resonates with you.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead to the next question?
Okay. I think everyone knows that you're a dog person, because you have Bella and you talk about walking Bella, and I talk about my cats. I have 2 kitties, but have you ever had a childhood or even adulthood pet?
I've had lots of different pets. My favorite childhood pet was Brownie, a dog. Always dogs. I've never had cats. I am definitely a dog person. Was Brownie. Brownie was a yard dog, not a pampered prima donna like Bella. Brownie had a dog house when my parents built the house in 1957. They had the builder build a house for Brownie that sort of looked like the house, believe it or not. I mean, it just had 4 walls, but it had the same roof on it, the same shingles on it.
That's cute. Kind of like Snoopy's.
Yeah. And it was large, and they had, I don't know, some kind of straw in it, and then we threw some blankets in there in the wintertime. But the front of his house was under the overhang of like the carport, so it never rained in Brownie's house. He could, he was not a house dog, and we could always be anywhere and feel comfortable that Brownie was going to be dry, because it was kind of high off the ground. So he really had a real good gig going. And unlike, again, the prima donna Bella, who gets fancy store-bought dog food all the time.
Oh my goodness. Excuse me, but they have to order, because you say they don't always have to order it.
Brownie got whatever we had left over. And I remember just, every now and then we would open a can if we didn't have leftovers, but I remember putting food in a saucepan on top of the stove and stirring it just to warm it up, because it came out of the refrigerator, and just kind of throwing it in his pan, and he would eat anything. So
he was happy, bones, everything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Nowadays, I don't even know if Bella's ever touched a steak bone. I doubt it. Not since.
I'm sure she hasn't, because there's the possibility of choking.
Yeah.
We think about all these things, but like you said, my first pet was a yard dog, just like you said. And they stayed outside, but they had somewhere to go. There was always, you always made sure that they could go in the carport or go somewhere. That's
Okay.
So you had a string, you had other dogs?
Yeah, we had other dogs. We had Chimmy, who was a Cocker Spaniel mix, and then Angel, who I had after we were married. We had Angel, who was probably my favorite adulthood dog. We had a little dog named Ebony for about a month, because my husband bought a dog and put it in a box and hid it in the closet. And on Christmas morning or birthday or whatever day it was, he pulled out the box and pulled the top off. And we lived in a townhouse that didn't even have a back door. It was our first residence, and you could only come, the only way you could get in and out was through the front door, because at the back of the house, there was another house. There was another townhouse. So there was no yard. There was a balcony. You had to walk down some steps to get out. I was like, who needs a dog? This is not a good place for a dog. So we gave Ebony away.
I'm laughing, Wanda, because that's so indicative of, kind of your marriage, Junior, Willie Lloyd is always thinking about surprising and, making a joke and doing it. And so I know he thought he had really done something with that.
And it wasn't good for the dog.
It was a nice gesture.
Yeah, it was a nice gesture. And I love the dog, but it was just not a good thing.
Yeah. I know. But no, I'm just laughing at your first responses. We don't have a place for the dog. Why are you gonna, you go straight to That's wonderful. Okay, what about you? What about you?
Okay, I'm gonna skip something because we need to get to the end. So if you could have a conversation with any one living person in the world, someone you don't know or know well, who would you want to have a conversation with? Who would you want to talk to?
Living,
Living?
anyone
Yeah.
living. Okay, living. I tell you the truth. I hate to sound, kind of expected, but it's if it's a living person now, it's probably Michelle Obama.
I was gonna say that.
Sorry.
I know, right?
Sorry.
So we agree on that. Yeah,
good one.
we agree on that.
That's why I say it's a classic. I mean, any journalist worth their salt, especially a woman, if she has a chance to talk to somebody, it's gonna be pretty much Michelle.
Yeah.
Because there's so much still to unwrap about her. She's still a mystery in many ways, which I'm glad that she is. That she's not everybody doesn't know everything about her. Mm-hmm. But I would love to, not just have a conversation, follow her around for a while. Yeah. The whole thing.
What I would like? I would like it if we had her all to ourselves and we were sitting like in my living room and just having a day of girlfriend stuff. Just talking about
that,
about our pets, about our children, about our husbands, about life, not politics or money,
no. I want, I also, want to know about I would love to know about the early days, which are still, kind of protected. I mean, you don't hear any nitty gritty, and maybe that's what she's going to, eventually give us. But I like a little nitty gritty conversation too, off the record. Oh, I'd love for it to all be off the record. To tell you
that fun.
Off the record.
So Michelle Obama, if you happen to listen to two old chicks who know a lot of shit, we're looking for you, girlfriend.
Oh, we so want you. I mean, whatever way we can get you on the podcast, down here on St. Simons, up at a restaurant in
no restaurant.
Oh my goodness, with Tybee Island. Oh, join us for the Sea Island Writers Retreat. Send in your submission and let's
send in her submission. Come on, Tina.
Come on now.
No, but no restaurant. That's why I said in the living room or in sitting out around the patio.
You're right. Yeah, I just thought about. I thought about food immediately when I thought about Savannah. That's the reason I said restaurant. No, we'll have somebody bring something in. So we'll have it catered. Oh gosh, we're planning it already. All we're missing is the guest of honor.
That's right.
Come on.
And we honestly didn't talk about this. Our answer. So.
Oh my goodness, yes. Well, that just shows how much we want her. I hope somebody lets her know, how much we love her and honor her, respect her for everything that she's gone through, and so want to sit down with her in Wanda's sunroom, right? And just talk, right. And have a good time. It sounds good. It sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
Well, what we want you to do is we want you to answer some of the questions that you heard us answer. And if you want to answer them on social media, tag us and let us know. But that was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that was big fun. And fun, hashtag fun. That's Miss Tina's new mantra. Have fun.
Last episodes was a conversation with our friend, Dr. Bertice Berry, and she left us with a video. We ask our guests sometimes to just tell us if I could ask the elders. So we're going to listen to what she would ask her elder.
I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and every day I talk to the ancestors. I talk to my mother, I talk to my grandfather, I talk to my father, I talk to my great-great-grandfather. I ask them about the weather. I ask them about what the weather was like when they went through. I ask them how to remain loving in a world that is not loving. I ask them how they endured and how they got over. I ask them how they could smile in the midst of so much pain, and they answer. And they tell me to just keep on keeping on. They tell me that they were not living for that day, but they were living for the one that I'm living in. And then I ask them, am I your wildest dream? And they say, yes, you are, baby, but it's not done with you. You got to keep on being the wildest dream and make sure that your granddaughter's granddaughter gets to be your wildest dream. And so I talk to them again. I talk to them at night. I talk to them in the morning. I talk to them throughout the day. I talk to them and I say, what was it like crossing this place? And before I know it, somebody shows me a book that tells me a story that answers the question that I had. And then I ask, are they ever going to get better? And they say, oh, absolutely. We're going to get there. And you're a part of this puzzle.
Oh, well, that was wonderful. It really was. Again, Bertice, Dr. Bertice Berry is a wonder and a real treasure. Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Wanda. We're at the end of our episode, if you can believe that. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Two Old Chicks Who Know a Lot of Shit. If you're on social media, please subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We're Two Old Chicks. On Twitter, we're at Chicks Old, and on IG, we're at Two Old Chicks Podcast. It matters for you to follow us and support us. Thanks so much.
Yeah. And also remember that the collection of essays that Tina and I co-edited is Meeting at the Table, African-American Women Write on Race, Culture, and Community. It's available at downsouthpress.com. That's downsouthpress.com.
Yeah, well, that was a wonderful, wonderful episode. So until we meet the next time, take care of each other. Love and peace.
Bye-bye, everybody. Love, love.